Hi, could you introduce yourself, please?
Hey everyone, I am Hamza Alhalabi. I am from Syria. I've lived my entire life in Saudi Arabia and decided to come to AGU. I'm a business administration student. I'm a third year and I'm going to graduate next year.
Okay, Hamza, so what made you move to Turkey?
So, actually, because of the situation in Saudi Arabia, the universities are kind of expensive. So, I was trying to find a university where the country is close to my family so I can come and go easily. And Turkey was one of the best choices given that the universities are kind of strong
Mm-hmm.
and cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
And since you're in Turkey right now, do you have any regrets with the decision you made?
um, not really because I prefer to study in English
Mm-hmm.
and going to Europe is going to be way more expensive, and if I'm gonna study in a public university, it's gonna be in a different language, which I don't want to. So I think I would stick with studying in Turkey.
Okay, and how long have you been living here?
So this is my third year. I did not take any gap years or anything. So I stayed the entirety for the first year and second year. Because of COVID, I couldn't go back to Saudi
Mm-hmm.
Arabia. But I went back after the second year in summers, and that's it.
And what about after moving to Turkey? Did you face any difficulties? Were there any problems that you had to deal with?
Hmm. So, as a foreign student, in the end of the day, I'm having troubles learning Turkish or communicating with Turkish people since most of the governmental official places they all speak Turkish. Sometimes they do have some translators, but sometimes they don't, which is kind of a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But with the late technologies, we can just use a phone to translate, and
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes it's kind of hard going back and forth
Mm-hmm.
if they don't understand what do you want. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay, and so as I know, there are many other students from all around the world who are planning to come to Turkey for their education or for work. Do you want to give them a few suggestions for guidance? What would you suggest them?
As a business student who has a very good interest in economics and politics,
Mm-hmm.
I would say Turkey is going to be very prosperous in the future. I know the inflation is going crazy right now and people are not liking it, but this is one step into the future,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a hard step that's the government taking, but eventually the economy will be better, and businesses I think is flourishing right now in Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of imports, exports. It's a very good country in the location sector,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah.
Okay, and as a student myself, I know that when we move to a different country, our first aim is, of course, the education, and secondly, we try to find work.
Mm.
So, have you faced any problems so far in Turkey to find part time jobs or freelancing jobs? Have you tried it here in Turkey?
So I actually kind of struggle in this particular situation since most companies want Turkish speaking. I know English is very important nowadays, but still you have to communicate with your colleagues in the work.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I haven't went into the whole search for a work thing because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a student, and if I want to work, it's just gonna be an internship, not a full-time job. But I think most of my students and colleagues, even in different departments, they're not struggling that much finding jobs or internships. So I think there's a really big opportunity for students to work.
Okay, thank you for that. And let's get to the fun part of moving to a different country. So, Hamza, could you tell me if it was easy for you to socialize in Turkey? How were the people here?
So it's a different story for me. For my first year, I was a late student, kind of, compared to other students, so I missed the whole time for meeting new people. So I was struggling with that. And since I was in Saudi Arabia, like I moved into 3 different schools my entire life, so it was not hard making friends because you know all of these people throughout the whole years. But here it was a struggle since most of the students are Turkish. But eventually I was friends with most internationals. But in the first year, we know like COVID came, so it was kind of hard. But after COVID, I started being more open, and right now I think I'm in the type where most people know me, not to brag or anything, but like, yeah.
Okay, that's really good. And yeah, even for me, it's been the same, especially in third year. I felt like we've made a lot of friends compared to the time when everything went online because of COVID. Okay, and okay, one more question I have is regarding, it's a very sensitive topic, but I want to talk about it. It's sometimes that in some countries we come across social media that some people face discrimination. So have you ever felt that, or have you ever?
So for me, it's, in my opinion, I did not have any discrimination throughout these three years, apart then of the language barrier, but that's a thing everywhere. But I do hear sometimes from my friends, but it's a very minor thing, and it's pretty much because of the political situation of immigrants coming from here and there. So yeah, that's kind of inevitable situation to happen.
So Hamza, what are the biggest differences you see between the university experience here and in your home country?
So again, I'll go to the same problem, which is language barrier. If you're someone who's eager to work in this country, so you should learn this language because it's gonna make it easier for you. So the main problem is the differences in my home country. Everyone knows the same language, so it's easy to communicate with people, find jobs, do internships, this and that, and people can recommend you for one another. So yeah, that's kind of a good situation. Another thing is, I think Turkey is saturated with a lot of universities. In my country, there's not a lot of universities, and universities there are usually massive. So I don't know if that helps positively or negatively, but it does have some positive things for both of them. For example, here it gives opportunity for more people to study in the different cities or something like that. But in my country, because of the university is very big, you can find a lot of people with mutual interests, businesses, and this kind of things. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing.
Okay, and so lastly, I would like to ask you, what are some tips that you would give to students, high school students that are planning to move abroad?
Abroad or Turkey?
Abroad, it could be any country, it doesn't have to be Turkey.
I would say if you have plans on settling in this country, then first thing is learn this language. It will make your life way easier. the amount of people you will have, and it's just when you learn a new language overall, you're like learning a whole culture, a whole new, you have a new point of view of life.
Mm-hmm.
So another tip I would give is to have respect to different cultural things. So yeah, maybe you may find people have different interests or kind of liking for things that you may not like. So you have to respect it, because in the end of the day you're living in their country.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay, Hamza, thank you so much for adding up to our
You're
knowledge. And yeah, good luck with the future. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching the video. And we will be uploading more videos soon. Bye bye.